Mountain Dew Voodoo 2022. Getting ready to try this on the live here. A brand new episode of Dylan Knows. This is the third or fourth year they've been doing this, so it smells something. Let's take a sip here. It almost tastes like Sour Patch Kids. Now, every one of their voodoos tends to be a candy-related flavor in some form or another. And, yeah, this one's not too bad. It tastes like, yeah, it's sour, like Sour Patch Kids sort of flavor. So I kind of like it, kind of digging it. And I can actually, somebody who's a review I read about it said it was like sour Skittles. I can see that also. I like that. I like it a lot. I may have to buy the 12-pack. Now, they said there would be a variety pack of all the Mountain Dew Voodoos from every year, and I'd like to go back and try the ones I sort of skipped over the last few years because of COVID. I can't remember liking the first one, but this one, I definitely enjoyed this one. This is definitely, yeah, like a Sour Patch Kids. But it's not bad, though. Oh, I'm sorry. I just want to try it. I like having these sort of big things at the beginning of the show. This is Dylan Knows, episode 464, Ninja Bears. There's a reason why I have Ninja Bears up there. It is the last weekend of summer. It is also a busy weekend. Tonight is not the celebration, but on Thursday, the 15th of September, was the 9-year anniversary of this show. 9 years ago, September 15th, 2013, I started Dylan Knows and still going strong with episode 464 now. Because I took last summer off, basically the episode numbers don't quite match up, but I'm making up some ground here and there because I had a complete run during the summer. I had a couple of double episodes in there. I have a double episode this weekend, which I got to get on because my Sunday is extraordinarily busy tomorrow. So this is episode 1. And tomorrow, episode 465, will be my Spider-Man 60th anniversary show. Should only run probably about an hour because I really don't have a lot to say. Just give you my personal takes on Spider-Man, my top 10, top 15, top 5 lists of whole wide variety of stuff. Talk about the movies, characters a little bit. Would be a lot better if I could do a show with somebody, but because can't do that anymore, I just have to run through. So, but it's going to be hard to fit in there because Sunday, tomorrow, because it is still technically Saturday, the 17th of September. Tomorrow is the new season of Fortnite. There is no live event, so it's going to shut down at 2 a.m. like normal, but it's going to be a bigger update with the brand new season. So chapter 3, season 4 rolls out tomorrow, goes all the way through probably December. It's about a 3-month window, which includes Fortnitemares, which is always a blast. And we'll see. We know Spider-Gwen is at least going to be one of the skins in the Battle Pass. So, and the theme is called Paradise, and there's this thing called Chrome. It's like a silver black goo sort of thing is going to take over the island. So we'll see how that runs and goes. So we'll see how that goes. There's also rumors of Hulkbuster armors and the Hulk and stuff like that. So we shall see. It's also Pokemon Go's Community Day. Rag'n'Rolla is the Community Day thing. Not the biggest, most exciting one, but as my wife pointed out, the shiny version of the final evolution of Rag'n'Rolla is actually stunning. So next month is the big one. Next month is going to be hopefully a Halloween Community Day, and we also get the Halloween event, which is always great in Pokemon Go. Yeah, Sour Patch Kids or Sour Skittles, something like that, definitely. The Ravens have their first home game of the season after going 1-0. They handled the Jets after a slow start. I think it was 24-3, something like that. 24-9. So that was a good thing like that. So they're 1-0, and that's pretty good. It was a wild week, and we'll see how things go. It's already started off being wild with the Chiefs just barely getting by the Chargers, and Herbert, their quarterback, Chargers quarterback, broke his rib, so he's going to be out for a while. That was a Thursday night game, which coincidentally was the first time it was ever on Amazon Prime. So I checked it out, and it was kind of lousy. The quality of the stream was kind of lousy. There were commercials, like it's a regular football game, which, I have Prime without commercials, and hey, but I guess they had to do that for a number of reasons, whatever. And it was just dull, really. I mean, there wasn't anything real exciting about it. So we'll see what happens. And unfortunately, I hate to say this, looks like the Orioles' magical run is coming to an end. They went to Toronto, and Toronto was like 5 games ahead of them. So you're hoping that they would put up a fight. They've lost the first 2, so they're not going to win this series. The first 2 of this series, and pretty, downgraded. It wasn't really close in any of them. So it looks like the magic of the Orioles is starting to wear off a little bit. But the fact of the matter is that they accomplished more than anyone expected them to, and the fact that they were in the playoff chase this late in the season after their horrendous last 4 years is quite a testament for the Orioles, and hoping that next year, and this offseason, is going to be hugely important. See if they're going to get some free agents to come in and maybe help bolster up some stuff, and maybe they can, the rookies are going to have another year under their belt, so they'll have an idea to what they need to look for. So it should be a fun season. So we'll see. But I hate to say it, they're still technically kind of in it, but right now they are now like 6 or 7 games out of the wild card, and there's still only 18 games left, but still not looking good. Oh well. But the fact that, as I said, they got this far is incredible. So we have their last game also as well. So it is the last weekend of summer. Next weekend, I will be home alone. The kids and my wife are going camping. So we'll see where that goes too. It's also the first day of autumn officially is on Thursday. So we'll be able to do that. So but we're not talking about that. We're talking about what's happening today. So this week's stuff, we got a lot of stuff to talk about. We got some Emmys. Emmy Award winners. We've got some anniversaries, a lot of anniversaries. We've got some Sarah Michelle Gellar news. We've got some closings, some retirements, some interesting stories here and there. A lot of Netflix stuff, stupid stories, crazy stories. Some last minute D23 stuff that came out on Sunday after I did my show on Saturday. Nothing extraordinary, but kind of interesting. Brie Larson's in here. Artemis launch, new crystals, Tadum, a lot of anniversaries. Airless tires is another one, and of course the Ninja Bears. Let's start with Ninja Bears then. Japan has been recently having a series of bizarre attacks on cattle. Cattle appear fine as they go to bed, and then in the morning they are mauled to death almost by a bear. But there are like no real bear tracks left around, no signs that there were bears there, but they truly believe there have been some sightings of bears in the area. But when you don't leave any traces of anything that you're doing, it gets them a little kind of off a little bit. So they believe that it is some kind of ninja bear is, I like to call it a new cryptid. It could be what's killing their cattle. So I guess to be continued on that. Sarah Michelle Gellar is in the news. Surprise! Guess what? She's got a new show, a new movie on Netflix, which nobody knew she was going to be in because it was not advertised until this week when the movie came out on Friday. And I already was kind of wanted to see it because it stars Maya Hawke from Stranger Things, and yes, the daughter of Ethan Hawke and Uma Thurman, and I love Maya anyway. Her new film, Do Revenge, came out on Friday, and Sarah Michelle Gellar released something this week that showed that she plays the headmistress of the school where Maya Hawke goes. And she's playing her role pretty much like the role she played in Cruel Intentions. So she's not a very nice person. But the fact of the matter is, Sarah Michelle Gellar is in a new movie on Netflix. So that even increases me wanting to see it even more. Now, I haven't heard this mentioned anywhere else, but CBR, Comic Book Resources, is one of the places I kind of think that they know what we're talking about, but I haven't seen the official word from Disney Plus. But it looks like that they've heard from the underground and through whispers and from good sources that Miss Marvel will be picked up for a second season. Obviously, it'll be more, I guess, imperative to see what happens with the Marvels when that comes out next year because she's in that. So we'll see how that goes. But right now, it's looking probably right now about 70% chance that Miss Marvel will be getting a second season. But there's still that 30% chance that you never know what's going to happen. Now, speaking of Marvel stuff, Randall Park is back as Jimmy Woo in Ant-Man and the Wasp 3. So everybody liked Jimmy Woo in his appearance in Ant-Man and the Wasp. And then in Vision and WandaVision. So good to see him coming back. Let's clear this out before I get to the anniversaries here. I had so much stuff that I had to go. I wasn't going to use this little spot, but I had to. The House Party reboot movie is going to get released into theaters. I didn't know there was going to be a House Party reboot, but there is. It's going to be hard. It looks, from what I've seen of it, it looks just like a generic House Party movie, whereas the reason why you like the original House Party movie was because Kid and Play Kid had the giant afro thing, and that was the fun thing about it. An adopted woman took a DNA test and found out that she's been dating her real brother for the last 6 years. So that's kind of awkward. I mean, they were her real brother, and then they got separated when they were babies, and she was adopted, and he was adopted someone else, and then they found each other, didn't know they were related, and started dating for 6 years. So obviously, you know, they've done a lot of stuff that they probably shouldn't have if they're siblings, unless it's just porn. Baltimore Ravens news. Last week I mentioned that Poe, our mascot, has the torn ACL, so he will not be able to mascot the season at home games. So the Ravens had to figure out what they were going to do. And I postulate what they should do is they should bring out of retirement Edgar and Allan, because when the Ravens first came to town in 96, they had 3 mascots, Edgar, Allan, and Poe, since the Ravens is based on Edgar Allan Poe, whose burial site is not that far from the stadium. And but then I don't remember the exact time, but Edgar and Allan were retired, and Poe became the face of the Ravens mascot. I guess they figured they only wanted to pay 1 instead of 3, and they picked Poe because he was the silliest one. But because of that, and because of what I predicted, and I said it would be nice if they did that because it's still out there. Sure enough, Edgar and Allan have been called in out of retirement and will be performing their mascot duties for just this year while Poe recovers, and they'll probably go back to retirement after that. But it'd be nice to see Edgar and Allan out on the field again and in the stands and seeing fans and doing all these events. So it'll be fun to do that. So welcome back, Edgar and Allan. Missed you guys. A white moose was spotted in Sweden. Haven't had a lot of these different color animal stories in a while. So this one was kind of nice to see that they're still happening, even though it's not quite as rampant as it was earlier in the year. Halloween is coming. As I said, it is still September. Got 2 minutes left. In September 17th. So basically, let's go 30 days and then another 14. So about 44 days until Halloween. And so everyone's mind turns to jack-o'-lanterns. And you know how you do it. You cut open the top, you pull the top off, you pull all the guts out, throw it away, or you take the seeds and cook them and whatever you want to do. But you take all that stuff, that junk out of it. You draw the designs on the pumpkin and you carve it, cut it out with knives, and then you put a candle in, you got your pumpkin, put the top back on. There you go. Well, someone decided, let's see what would happen if we used a power washer to carve a pumpkin. So the guy pulls out his power washer and moves it in the direction of the triangle eyes, triangle nose, and the weird face. And the only weird thing about it was when it did the face, and which is much bigger than the eyes, all the guts sort of spilled out, and it's like a liquidy, what is it, vicus white creamy sort of sauce came out of the pumpkin. So that was kind of disgusting, but it looked good. I mean, if you have a power washing machine, you're still gonna need to get the guts out of it probably, but you can carve into the pumpkin using the power washer, and it looked pretty good. So why not? Sticking on Halloween, Killer Clowns from Outer Space was an old 1980s horrible B movie that became popular in the early days of cable, as I've told you many times this year, where the early days of cable, on HBO, stuff like that, they did 24/7 movies. So they didn't have a lot of movies to choose from. So they had to go really into the vault and find a lot of stuff that hadn't been seen before. And Killer Clowns from Outer Space is one that they brought out, and they, as I said, they would schedule it ahead of time. Like it would be on twice a week or twice a day, really. Once like at 11 a.m. and then once again like at 10 p.m., something like that. So a lot of people grew up watching it and kind of liking it. And now they're sort of having a sort of resurgence. They have a video game, I think, coming out here soon, which I talked about on my show. But now you can also get an inflatable in time for Halloween. So that's, a perfect, Halloween inflatable. You get all three of them, like that. Speaking of trios, I think I might have mentioned this before, but I'm going to mention it again because it came across my feed again. Hocus Pocus, the sequel comes out September 30th. That's in 13 days from now. Actually, technically, probably now be 12 because it is now officially Sunday, September 18th, midnight. Yay! But Hocus Pocus has a inflatable now with the three witches in it as well. I think I had that later on in this, but I just remembered it, so I will mark it off when I get to it if I can't find it here real quick. And I can't. So, booyah! When I come to it, I'll be like, oh yeah, I did that one already. Just trying to stay on the theme. Phantom of the Opera, one of the most popular Broadway musicals of all time, has been a mainstay on Broadway, has had tourings, has had movies made about it. After 35 years on Broadway, they are finally going to leave Broadway. They're closing on Broadway after 35 years. I guess that kind of makes sense. You've been doing it for 35 years straight. It's time for a little bit of retirement. That way, in about 5 years, they can do a revival of it and it'll make bank. So enjoy your retirement. Doesn't mean you're going to see the end of Phantom of the Opera. I'm sure there's going to still be touring versions of it. Probably you're just not going to be able to see it on Broadway anymore for now. Oh, yeah, this is definitely Sour Patch Kids or Sour Skittles or something. It's not bad. Orlando Bloom and David Harbour are going to be starring in a Neil Blomkamp's new car movie, Gran Turismo. Orlando Bloom really hasn't done much for a while here, and David Harbour is becoming a bit more popular now that Stranger Things is on hiatus right now. Also out this week, considering David Harbour, we're going to get a little bit into Christmas. He made a evil Santa Claus movie, which he stole from me, obviously, because I've had the evil Santa Claus idea forever, but the first poster for it came out. I can't think of the name of it right now, but again, it's probably in here, and I just figured since I'm thinking about it right now, I may as well mention it. But yeah, so the first poster for that came out, which means it's probably going to be out sometime this year. I think it's through Netflix, so that'll be interesting to see that as well. Due to the popularity of Cobra Kai, they announced this week that a new Karate Kid movie will be coming into theaters in 2024. Now, very little has been, this literally just came up this week, so there's very little information about it. So I have no idea if it's going to be connected in any way to Cobra Kai, or it's going to be a completely different, like, reboot. Cobra Kai's in this dimension, and just Karate Kids are there. I mean, they've done it before, with Will Smith's son and Jackie Chan, and they're not going to cross over to Cobra Kai. Though rumors are starting to abound more and more that Hilary Swank's next Karate Kid character might be showing up in a future season of Cobra Kai. So we'll see if that actually ends up happening here. So I will check out on that. I've talked about Yellowstone before and the myriad of spinoffs that are happening. It's kind of a really neat idea because Yellowstone is, the actual original Yellowstone show is set in one location in present day. And then they decided, let's show the history of the area leading to where we are now. So they did the one Yellowstone series with Sam Elliott. That was, I forget, 18 something or other. Now they're doing the next spinoff, which is 1923. So we're going to see how the Yellowstone area, the Yellowstone Ranch, is doing in 1923. Robert Patrick has joined the cast of that. I forget who else is cast in that. I mentioned that on one of my previous episodes, but can't remember for the life of me. Sorry. Let's see. Besides the 49th anniversary of the 9th anniversary of my show, it was Batman Day on Saturday. So that's pretty cool. So I mentioned all that stuff already, so I can cross that out. So that's interesting. Sony and Columbia Pictures is going to be opening a water park in October with their myriad of things. There's a Hotel Transylvania thing and stuff like that. And I'm assuming it's probably going to be like in a California or Florida where it's warm all the time, because why would you open a water park in like the Midwest or on the East Coast in October, because that's like fall. So doesn't make a lot of sense. So, but they are opening a water park in October somewhere in the world. So, hey, there you go. You want to look for it. If it's not too far away or out of the way, go ahead and knock yourself out. HBO Max and Discovery continue to have all kinds of issues, and there's some other stuff that I'm going to get into. Oh, actually, it's still there too. First up, let's talk about this real quick. Comcast may be buying the Warner Brothers Discovery thing, which just became a thing earlier this year, but they're having troubles now. But Comcast is considering buying them out and merging them with their already owned NBC Universal. So that way you'll have NBC, Universal, the WB, and Discovery all under one main body ruled by Comcast. So that's the beginning of the huge conglomerate streaming services. So we'll see if that actually comes to fruition. Don't know if it will or not, but it's being out there because HBO Max is having a lot of HBO in general with Warner Brothers and Discovery, and HBO Max, which is connected to that, are having all kinds of trouble. That being said, we've been talking about all the stuff that's being canceled and dropped by HBO Max. Their issues with J.J. Abrams have just continued as they've gotten rid of a bunch of the stuff that he had planned to do for them, his production company, and then never got around to doing it. Well, add two more to the pile. His Constantine TV show and his Madame Xanadu TV show have both been canceled, no longer on the service. So those are either being shopped around to other places or they're just not going to get done. That in turn opened up the WB to say, you know what people like and what we've been seeing on the internet lately is Keanu Reeves' Constantine's been getting a lot of love. Let's greenlight a sequel and ask Keanu if he wants to come back. Now, Keanu has already said that he would love to have another go at John Constantine. Now he's going to get his chance. This week they announced that the Constantine sequel is in the works with Keanu Reeves returning as the lead. Now this J.J. Abrams thing is out the door. They can move fast on this. So I just wonder if he's going to have the beard, because Constantine doesn't have the beard. Constantine also has a blonde hair, but that's besides the point. We're not going to go there. One of the best headlines of the week. There's two this week. One will be later on the show, but this first one is probably the best of both of them. I don't know. The second one's a little crazy. This is not me, obviously, talking, because if it was, it'd be messed up. But this is a quote that actually came from somebody that I found on my Facebook page. Someone posted a interview they did with this woman. And this quote is, are you ready? My baby's dad refuses to pay child support, but he subscribed to my OnlyFans. You can't make this shit up. America's fucked up, man. Yeah, I think this is better than the one that's coming later in the show. So the one later in the show is not too bad, but the one later in the show has connection to something else that's already come out that was just as stupid. But I digress. Going from that to a Magic Mike movie. Now, the first two did pretty well. And it's been a while since there's been since the second Magic Mike. Well, now they're going to do one called Magic Mike's Last Dance. It's coming in winter of 2023. So that was announced this week as well. So, hey, yay, surprise. Might be coming out at the same time as the Full Monty TV show on Disney Plus. So who knows? Now, Sony has always been one of these companies that likes to shift their the dates for whatever reason. So as you may or may not know, Sony owns the rights to Spider-Man and his all of his villains and stuff like that. They made a deal with Disney to put Spider-Man in the MCU, so Sony's able to get money from it as a way to get crossover. I mean, Venom was in that stuff. I want to say Tom Brady, but it's not Tom Brady. Anyway, you know who it is. But bum. So they were making a Kraven the Hunter movie that was due to come out January 13th, 2023, which isn't that far away. Now it's been shifted to October 6th, 2023. The Madam Web movie, which I'm actually looking forward to because, well, it's got a gorgeous cast in it, but that's besides the point, was scheduled to be out on October 6th, 2023. It has now been moved to February 16th, 2024, which kind of sucks because I kind of want to see that sooner than later, but okay. And there's an untitled Sony Marvel film that's moving from June 7th, 2024 to July 12th, 2024, which could be Venom 3, could be, I don't know, there's, I don't know what else they will, what else they're doing, but they will also, because of this movement, it'll give them more chance to reformat it, these movies for IMAX. So you'll be getting them in IMAX when originally you weren't going to, but now you will with the movement of these dates. It gives it more time to reformat it to get it in IMAX. So if you want to go see them in IMAX, you'll be able to now. You wouldn't have been able to before, but now you'll be able to. An Alaskan Malamute howls his way across a Norwegian harbor. It's wonderful video, and he's on a boat, and he's just howling, and he sounds like a foghorn. It's absolutely wonderful and hilarious to see that, and it's outstanding. To show that the earth is, or the world is getting a little bit crazier, the Japanese have taught a robot, the Japanese robotics team has taught a robot to share laughter with people. So if people are laughing, it'll laugh with you. Like if someone tells a funny story and they laugh, the robot will laugh as well. They keep pushing that button, don't they? I mean, they keep pushing and pushing, and something's going to happen eventually, and I don't know. We'll see. Pat Sajak, local guy, he has been doing Wheel of Fortune for, 30, 40, no, it's got to be at least 40 plus years. Yeah, close to 40 years. He's been doing the Wheel of Fortune, and he's getting to the point now where it's like, you know what? Yeah, I think I've done enough. And he is considering retiring soon. New season probably getting ready to start, so it's probably not going to be now. Look for it sometime probably in 2023. He might throw one more season out, sort of like a farewell, Pat Sajak farewell tour, and that might incline Vanna, who's been doing it the same amount of time as he has, to maybe also retire as well. And you can either reboot it with new hosts or just say, okay, Wheel of Fortune, you did your time. That'll do. Wheel of Fortune, that'll do. But let's face facts. Wheel of Fortune is one of the most popular shows on TV, up there with Jeopardy. After Alex Trebek's death, they've had these two new hosts on there. Now, I would assume that once Pat retires, and Vanna's probably not going to be that far behind him, if not going at the same time as him. You can bring in someone new and keep it going. It's not that hard. So, but still, the fact that he's been doing it for 40 plus years is outstanding. Before we get to anniversary stuff like that, real quick. Okay, real quick. Also, the Ravens. Again, going back to the Ravens. We know about the new mascots, Edgar and Allen, which aren't new. They're coming out of retirement. But the Marching Ravens, which is we're one of the only teams that still has a professional marching band for their football games. They got new uniforms for this season, and they are outstanding. Just gorgeous looking. And they're really good, too. I mean, this is the band that's been going on since the Colts marching band. And even when the Colts were gone, they still got together to do parades. Art Modell, when he was in Cleveland, actually had them come and do music for the Browns during that time stretch where Baltimore did not have a football team. So that's kind of cool as well. But that's kind of neat that that they're doing that and have these. They're really gorgeous too. They showed a picture of them. They're really nice looking. Also, a 49-year-old college freshman defensive lineman becomes the second oldest college football player in NCAA history. I guess it's legal. I mean, I guess if you are actually going to college and you're going to, actually learn, they can fudge it a little bit and you can actually play. He's 49 years old, though. I mean, I don't know how much you're going to get out of him, but still give him a chance to relive his glory or what. I mean, he must not have gone to college, so he probably never played any college ball. He might have played high school ball, but I don't know. That's kind of cool. real quick, because I don't want to get too far into it because I got a lot to cover today. My wife and daughter are always on the lookout for new shows to watch. And after we finished up Brooklyn Nine-Nine, I believe it was, the years are all sort of spanned together. I think it was last year when the final season came out. Yeah, it was last September when the final season came out. That was when we finished watching all of 9-9, which one of my favorite shows. Great show. So we've been trying to find other shows to watch, and they've watched like the Squid Game and other stuff, and they've watched a lot of anime and stuff like that. But my daughter's heard a lot of good stuff about The Good Place. Now, I heard a little bit about it, but I didn't know much about it. Except Ted Danson, who is wonderful in everything he does, and Kristen Bell was in it as well. And I'd heard about it, and I heard nothing but good things about it. I was like, okay, yeah, I'll take a chance and watch it. Now, the first season, I watched all the way up to about maybe the last 4 episodes of the first season, and I despised Kristen Bell's character, and it kind of made me get turned off on the show. And now, in retrospect, I understand what they were going for, but that's besides the point. But, so I missed about 4 episodes, actually probably more like 8 episodes, like the last 4 of the first season, like the first 4 of the second season. And then I got caught back up. I read some of the synopsises on Wikipedia. And then I was watching the ones like that. And I knew what was going on. I could follow what was going on. And I started enjoying it. So watched the rest of season 2 and most of season 3 again till we get close to the end of season 3, and then it was the beginning of season 3. So it was like watched all season 2, and then around the beginning of season 3, I couldn't do it because I think they were watching it on a Saturday night, and I had to prep for the show because I hadn't done it yet. So I didn't want to be watching it in there while they were watching it. So I said, it's fine, I'll go upstairs and I'll catch it some other time. So they watched like another 8 episodes after that. And then I caught up with the rest of season 3 and all season 4. And we watched the final episode just about an hour ago, actually hour and a half ago. And it was perfection. The show, all 4 seasons, now that in retrospect I can see what was going on in the first season with my hatred of Kristen Bell, who soon became one of my favorite characters in the show. And it's just the ending was absolute perfection. It is an absolute perfect, wonderful series. And if you have not checked out The Good Place, I highly recommend it. Again, I wish I had a way that I could have a partner like I used to when we did that Google Hangouts the early days of my show, like 9 years ago. until about 3 or 4 years ago when they got rid of Google Hangouts, and so I can only do this now, which is fine. I'm okay with that, but I kind of missed interacting with other people, and I would have liked to maybe do a show about The Good Place. Go cover all the episodes. It's all these things that I always have these podcasting ideas. Like I want to do a podcast about every episode of Northern Exposure. I want to do a podcast about all the Marvel movies and TV shows and discuss that. And I would love to do a podcast about The Good Place now because it's such a great show. Hell, I probably wouldn't mind doing one about the Brooklyn Nine-Nine, but I could still probably do podcasting. You're not too old to do podcasting, but it's just I don't have I have work ethic, but I just don't have the energy, I guess, to make it good. So that's why I do this crappy show. But I've been doing this crappy show for 9 years, and I'm fine with it. And my one viewer, hey, he said he had enough. Okay, I'm done. So thank you for watching. And you're back. Oh, cool. So maybe you just disappeared for a second, switched out. So hello. Anyway, so Good Place. If you haven't seen it, check it out. Definitely. It's only 4 seasons. It's 52 episodes, and they're like half hour. So the final episode was an hour. Absolute perfection. All right. I got a lot of anniversaries to cover. So we'll clear these out real quick because this is probably would take up probably the majority of the stuff I have is all these anniversary stuff. I had not so many last week. So I've been trying to reduce it, but when I started doing these anniversary things again, I started realizing, I'm only going to do the ones that I really, really like or enjoy or interested in, or you might be interested in, whatever. So that's why last week's was kind of small because there wasn't a lot going on. But you got to remember this past week, when all these anniversaries came out during, whatever time period was during this week. So anywhere from the 11th to the 17th, all these shows came out at one point or another. And you have to remember in the old days, September was always the month when the new seasons of your TV shows started on the network, CBS, NBC, ABC, and Fox. And also a remembrance from childhood. As you can obviously tell from me, I love Saturday morning cartoons. I watched Saturday morning cartoons all the way up till probably in my teens. So I would wake up early every Saturday morning, go downstairs and just watch cartoons for hours, all kinds of cartoons. They were all great, stuff like that. And I always remember the networks who aired. It was really only NBC. I guess ABC did some and CBS did some as well. I guess, but I don't know if they all did this, but some of the networks did previews of the cartoons coming out the next day, that Saturday. It was on a Sunday, so the previews would come out the day before, and they talk about these are the new cartoons coming out on Saturday. And it was always fun to watch that, so you get an idea of what stuff was coming out, stuff like that, and got you excited for things. Also, at the same time as when, what's the word I'm thinking of? Where it was, oh God, I can't think of it right now. But when it wasn't part of the networks, but it was, every afternoon you would have a block of syndication. That's what it was. Syndication. You have a block of shows. So all these like cartoons that were on after school, a lot of them came out during this period because it was about a week or so after school started. So they got the kids a chance to get back in the groove of things. And then they say, hey, new episodes of these shows or new cartoons in general. So, and I watched cartoons after school also all the way up to my teenage years as well. And even a little bit into my teenage years because there was some good shit on, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Batman animated series, stuff like that. Hell yeah. So a lot of the anniversaries are going to be that. There are some anniversaries for network TV shows because this is network opening weekend. Next week, probably have a lot more network shows opening up. Movies that came out this week, anniversaries of those, and also some historical anniversaries as well. So we'll start off real quick with, this is in no order. These are just how I did them. And I just lost my fans. Like, oh God, you're going to talk about shit from the past. Fuck you. I'm leaving. I'm out. Fuck you. I'm out. I'm going to chug this now. Oh my God, this was so good. All right. First up, M. Night Shyamalan has been given a lot of shit and maybe deserves so for some of his later movies. But his comeback started in 2015 with the movie The Visit, which was in the 2015s, which would be what, seven years ago. During that time is when found footage movies were becoming the craze again. You know, the paranormal, whatever the paranormal shit shows that did like 7 movies of that, stuff like that. Paranormal Activity, that's what it was. So he made a found footage video called The Visit about 2 kids who had never really met their grandparents and were kind of forced to spend the week with their grandparents at their house. They knew where their house was. They just never went to visit them. So they didn't know really what their grandparents looked like. So they went and they, got to know their grandparents and have a good time. But then weird things started happening in the house and they had to figure out what's going on. So it's kind of a creepy sort of scary sort of found footage thing, but it became a huge hit for M. Night, and it sort of started him on this path where he's not where he was when he first started, but he's doing some respectable stuff again here. The Vampire Diaries came out 13 years ago. That was a huge show for a long time. It was like a Buffy Angel sort of thing, but the vampires were the leads, and they were romantic vampires and stuff like that. Movie-wise, The Brothers Grimm, 2015, I believe, also. 2015, 2005, something like that. That anniversary came out like that. I think that's a Terry Gilliam thing as well. And that is the Chippendale thing. So I'll head back to that when I do that. 38 years ago, Miami Vice came out, premiered. The music by Jan Hammer was a huge thing about that. It was a fantastic sort of action TV show. Don Johnson, Philip Michael Thomas, Edward James Olmos. Great sort of show like that came out 38 years ago. The big one, 50 years ago this week, one of the best TV shows of all time, MASH, came out. One of the most long-running ones, and still to this day has the highest Nielsen rating for an TV episode of all time. No one is ever going to touch that, I don't think. The Sci-Fi Channel turns 30 this year. Sci-Fi, good days, good times. I used to remember in the old days when it was called actual sci-fi, SCIFI. And they used to do anime like in the mornings and in the evenings, like on Saturday nights and stuff like that. Some like more grown-up stuff. And, old science fiction TV shows and stuff like that. And then they started doing some of their original content and making these bad Saturday movies. And that was what made the Snarkalics come together. And then when they stopped doing them, the Snarkalics sort of broke apart a little bit. And this show is a direct correlation to the Snarkalics. It's a spinoff of our Snarkalic radio show that started around the same time as this show. Actually, it was probably 10 years ago that Snarkalic radio started. And they've done a lot of stuff. So they're still out there. I remember also Thanksgiving, they did Mystery Science Theater 3000 for a while. And every Thanksgiving they would do the turkey fest where they would show like just a marathon of MST3K episodes the whole day of Thanksgiving, because turkey, they're bad movies. And then the Saturday movies as well. So fun stuff. So Sci-Fi turns 30 this year. History, 160 years ago this week was the Battle of Antietam, not that far from here, in the Civil War. Up there with Gettysburg. Gettysburg is still the worst probably battle in the Civil War, but Antietam's up there. It's not it's not that far out of there. You've probably seen the reel or whatever with Ben Affleck saying, I can't tell you what you're doing. You can never ask me what we're doing or whatever, but we're going to go and we're going to hurt a bunch of people. And Jeremy Renner's like, whose car are we going to take? And they're doing the Boston accent. That comes from the movie The Town. I believe Affleck directed that movie. That came out 12 years ago this week. Squid Game came out 1 year ago this week. So Squid Game has just celebrated its 1 year anniversary. So congratulations to that. They celebrate in style, but I'll get into that in a little bit. G.I. Joe, one of my favorite cartoons, after school cartoons, started this week in 1983. Again, part of the syndicated stuff. So 83 would make it almost 39 years. No, 41 years. So 41 years ago, right? Yes, 41 years ago. No. Yes, no, yes, no, yes. 41 years ago, yes. 1982 would have been 40 years. Okay, yep, 41 years ago. I watched the G.I. Joe cartoon. I bought the toys and played with them forever. Inspector Gadget also came out 41 years ago this week, 1983. Another show that I watched all the time. Don Adams doing the voice of a character that succeeded by failing, sort of thing. He was terrible, but he succeeded anyway. Matthew Broderick portrayed him in a live action film. So, oh well. Webster also arrived 41 years ago. It was about a Manuel Lewis, who was a small black kid, who was adopted by Alex Karras, who was a former football player, and the whole black-white sort of thing going on there. So that was interesting. What other anniversaries we got? Oh, here's the whole set right here. Muppet Babies, another cartoon I watched a lot of, believe it or not, premiered in 1984, which makes that 42 years ago. Tiny Toon Adventures, one of my favorites when I was in my teenage years, premiered in 1990 this week. Back to the Future animated series. They had an animated series of Back to the Future, but they came out in 1991, which is 2 years after Back to the Future 3 came out. And actually, 1 year Back to the Future 3 came out in 1990. That's right. Transformers, which they always teamed up with G.I. Joe, came out in 1984. So G.I. Joe was out a full year before Transformers was. But Transformers, the cartoon, came out in 1984. What would be? No. Yeah, no. Pee-wee's Playhouse. It was a Saturday morning show that I watched a lot of. I enjoyed that a lot too. It was 1986 premiere, which, hold on, no, it wouldn't be 41. Hold on. I don't know. I'm all, I'm lost, whatever. I didn't know there was a Teen Wolf animated series. That came out in this week, 1986. So you had two Michael J. Fox sort of centric cartoons. They didn't come out at the same time, obviously, but still. Time Cop, the movie with Jean-Claude Van Damme, based on a comic book, came out in 1994. Erie, Indiana, one of my favorite shows and an underrated show that was on NBC at like 7 p.m. on a Sunday after football, so it was always delayed or whatever. But Erie, Indiana is such a great show. Came out in 1991, only lasted one season, but it gave us episodes like what really happens in the time change, about the neighbor boy who doesn't age and he sleeps in a Tupperware container. What else was there? The final episode of the season, which they pretty much was the final episode they ever made, had the character in Erie, Indiana, believing that he was all part of a TV show and they were going to kill his character off. So that was kind of interesting as well. Do another burst here. Yep. The Blob, the original one, came out in 1958, has a great musical bit, which I listen to a lot. The musical theme, I should say, which I listen to a lot. Challenge of the Super Friends came out in 1978. I didn't watch it when it first came out, but when they syndicated it, I watched it then. That was, the Super Friends versus the Legion of Doom. So it'd be like, all the villains of all the heroes. So like Sinestro and Green Lantern, and Lex Luthor and Superman and the Joker and Batman and stuff like that. So they would team up and they did stuff. Black Manta and Aquaman, stuff like that. One of my favorite shows, which I didn't actually see, obviously, because I was only 1 year old when it premiered, but I've seen it since then. It was on Sci-Fi, actually, for a while. Kolchak, the Night Stalker, starring Darren McGavin, and is well known to be the inspiration for X-Files, which had its anniversary last week. So much so that Chris Carter, who created X-Files, he goes right out on the limb and says, Kolchak was the thing that inspired me to do X-Files. And they brought Darren McGavin in for, I believe, I don't know if it was for X-Files. I know that he played Lance Henriksen's dad in Millennium in season 2. So I don't know if he was actually an episode of X-Files, but they did bring him in though. Darren McGavin, as you may recall, was the old man from Christmas Story. Well, he did this before Christmas Story. It's about a news reporter who goes and investigates paranormal crimes and stuff like that. Speaking of paranormal, Scooby-Doo, the original cartoon, came out in 1969 this week. So that's 52 years ago, 53 years ago. So yeah, that's pretty wild, right? Yep. The Real Ghostbusters, another great animated series spinoff of a movie, came out in 1986. That's such a great show. I have all the episodes on DVD, and my favorites are the ones with Sam Hain. So there was the one that had Sam Hain, and there was the one with where they caught the 3 ghosts of Christmas, and Scrooge lived and didn't change. So that was kind of, they had to Scrooge him themselves. So that was kind of interesting, kind of funny. So that was good. It's a good show. It's great, great cast and a great animation. Supernatural, I did not know. It just ended last year, 2021. Came out in 2005, which means it lasted 16 seasons. So Supernatural came out this week in 2005. 16 years. That's insane. But good on you, Supernatural. You did more than double what Buffy did, so that's kind of interesting. Finally, one of my favorite Fincher movies of all time, and I think it's hugely underrated because it came between Seven and Fight Club, is The Game. If you've never seen The Game, you need to see The Game with Michael Douglas and Sean Penn. It is an outstanding movie. I saw it in the movie theater 25 years ago and was raving about it to the guy I used to work with at the bagel shop. So much that I want him and his wife to go see it. But yeah, absolutely outstanding. So booyah. So check that out if you have not seen it yet. Okay, boom. Let's do the Emmys real quick because I want to finish this side page. Emmy Awards came out this week, the actual big ones. We had the ones last week, which had or a couple weeks ago, which had the Moon Knights and the Stranger Things, stuff like that. Chip 'n Dale Rescue Rangers won the Emmy for Outstanding TV Movie. If you have not seen Chip 'n Dale Rescue Rangers, the movie, you need to see it. It is absolutely amazing. It is funny, self-referential, amazing, and outstanding. I don't think I marked everything Emmy related. So I'll go to the ones that I know are Emmy related, which is over here. White Lotus won for Best Miniseries Emmy. Cheryl Lee Ralph won for Best Supporting Actress for the show Abbott Elementary. What the hell? I have no idea what that says. I think it's Jean Smart. I think she won an Emmy, but Jason Sudeikis. I'm sorry, Jason Sudeikis won Best Actor again for Ted Lasso. Amy Seyfried won for Best Actress in a Miniseries for the miniseries Dropout. Michael Keaton won Best Actor Emmy for Dope Sick for a limited series. Zendaya won her second straight Best Actress award for Euphoria, which is like a first, I believe. It's like a something that hasn't happened in a really, really long time. Jennifer Coolidge, I know she's around here somewhere, who's known as Stifler's mom, also won for her role in the whatever show she was doing. Sorry, it's not one that I watched, so I couldn't tell you. Oh, there it is. Jennifer Coolidge wins Emmy. So, boom, I think that covers all the Emmys for that. If I see any other ones, I will let you know. But I think that's all of them for now that I recall. I didn't get all of them, but those are kind of the big ones. Squid Game is another one. Squid Game won for Best Series. So they're celebrating their 1-year anniversary with an Emmy win for Best Picture, for Best Series. So I know that's around here somewhere, so I will find that and mark that off eventually as well. See if I can find it real quick. And then we'll move on because we got to move on and move on and move on. Yep, there is. Squid Game wins outstanding. So boom, check that off there. All right, so if I get any other ones, I will let you know. To finish up this page, we got to do death. Not a lot of death this week, which is nice, but still, for the families that lost loved ones, we're sorry. First up, Henry Silva, character actor, was in the original Ocean's 11, was a part of the Rat Pack, kind of an ancillary part. Cannonball Run 2, was the voice of Bane in the Batman animated series show, was in Manchurian Candidate, Dick Tracy, Buck Rogers. He died at the age of 95 this week. That is everything on this page, right? Yep, and that was everything on this page too, right? Yep, so we're cleared out these pages. Okay. Ukrainian ballet dancer Oleksandr Shaparo was killed on the battlefield in the Ukraine-Russia war. French filmmaker and part of the French New Wave and hugely popular in France and considered to be a great French director, Jean-Luc Godard passed away this week. Kenneth Starr, the prosecutor who went after Bill Clinton for the Monica Lewinsky thing, he passed away this week as well. Rapper PNB was shot to death at a Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles. And Marcia Hunt, the oldest Star Trek actress, died at the age of 104 years old this week. Some D23 stuff real quick. Pentatonix will be releasing a holiday concert on Disney Plus this holiday season. The Muppet Christmas Carol, I think I talked about this last week, but I'm going to bring it up again. Muppet Christmas Carol is going to be released as an extended edition on Disney Plus this holiday season with one of the songs that they removed from the theatrical movie, or rather that was in the theatrical movie. No, it wasn't in the theatrical movie. They cut it from the theatrical movie and then added it to the video tape. Is now being put back in and is going to be called the extended edition of it. Best in Snow. Oh, there's another anniversary. Anniversary Cabin Fever, the movie about the flesh-eating virus attacking a bunch of gorgeous teens at a cabin, came out this week as well. 2003. Best in Snow, a snow making contest, meaning these artists are going to be taken to a snow globe, which is going to have snow in it, and they're going to have to create snow statues, art, whatever, and they'll be judged on it. So that's going to be coming out this holiday season. They announced a lot of holiday stuff in the Sunday hour. Hip Hop Nutcracker is coming to Disney Plus as well. And the History of Mickey Mouse documentary is coming November 18th. That looks interesting to me because I'm a history person. I kind of like that sort of stuff. So that'd be kind of neat. So I think that's all the D20. Oh, another death. Jesse Powell, R&B singer, Grammy nominee, died at the age of 51. So he passed away this week as well. Excuse me. That is it for that page. Okay, so that's everything there. Queen Elizabeth died last week. We know that. This week, she lies in state, and there have been people waiting in line for like 14 hours to see her, including David Beckham and other famous people as well. But because of that now, and because of the colonialism that she went through and stuff like that, there are some Indians from country India who are calling for the return of one of their legendary jewels, the Koh-i Noor diamond, which was stolen from them when British people invaded India, and they stole that, and it's still in England right now. They are calling for the return of that where it properly belongs. So we'll see if that actually comes out. It's not going to probably, but it'd be nice if it did. Let's do the good news. First up, Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds will be expecting baby number 4. Good on them. It's great to see them so in love with each other. They really are. They are perfect for each other. And Ryan Reynolds was always considered sort of like a player sort of type, and Blake has just cured him of that, and they are wonderful together. So congratulations on your 4th child. So good job. Now the bad news. It's not bad, but I mean, it's expected, really. The Johnny Depp Amber Heard trial will be getting a film adaptation. I mean, like, really? But yes, really, people are clamoring for it. So, huzzah, I guess. Glenn Powell and Reg-Jean Page will be portraying Butch and Sundance for a new Amazon series that is created by the Russo brothers. So we'll be getting a Butch and Sundance TV show with those 2 actors on it. The first trailer for Bring It On, Cheer or Die, which I talked about last week, which is the Bring It On series, was comedies about cheerleading teams. We decided to change it up a little bit and turn it into a horror movie, which will be showing up on October 8th, I believe, on Sci-Fi. But the first trailer for that came out this week. Stephen King's in the news again. His book, The Fairy Tale, came out, I believe, last week. It has already been picked up for adaptation by Paul Greengrass, who did some of the Bourne movies and the movie about the United 93, the one airplane during 9/11 that crashed in Pennsylvania. And also Mr. Harrigan's Phone, the Netflix movie based on the Stephen King short story, got its first trailer this week as well. So Stephen King is going crazy here. Disney has moved some stuff around. Haunted Mansion has shifted to June 2023, and the Mufasa, the prequel to Lion King, has been pushed to July 2024. Now, I just talked about The Good Place. One of the actors in The Good Place who portrayed Jason, Manny Jacinto, has been cast in the new Star Wars show, The Acolyte. So that cast is starting to come together really well. So that's making the show be really, really cool. Ulysses, a story about basically placing the Iliad and the Odyssey in outer space, is in the works right now. So, okay. Ulysses, I guess is what it's called, OLC or something like that. They're making as I told you about the Johnny Depp Amber Heard, they're making a movie about that. They're also making a movie about the GameStop stuff with actors, but they're also making a documentary about that. That trailer for that documentary about the GameStop thing should be out later this year. First trailer came out this week. The film adaptation of that historical stuff will be coming out probably in a year or so as well. The trailer for I Want to Dance with Somebody, the Whitney Houston biopic, came out this week as well. It looks okay, I guess. The Curse of Bridge Hollow, coming out October 14th on Netflix, is Netflix's family-friendly sort of Halloween film with Priya Ferguson from Stranger Things, Marlon Wayans, and Kelly Rowland. Looks pretty good so far. Good cast as well. Avengers, the Kang Dynasty, which was announced at D23 last week, 2 weeks ago, is going to be written by the Ant-Man the Wasp 3 star writer who is writing Kang into his movie, so it makes sense that he will continue to write Kang. So why not? Whew. In that same vein, rumors are swirling now that in Avengers Secret Wars, which comes out after Kang Dynasty, Ryan Coogler, who is the director of the Black Panther movies, is being approached to direct Secret Wars as well. Tadum is set for September 24th. That's next weekend, I believe. Let's see, today is the 18th. It's next Saturday. So I don't know. Will I have enough? Will it be done in enough time for me to do the stuff for my show on Saturday? We shall find out. But Tadum, all the new Netflix stuff coming out within the next year or so is coming out September 24th. And here's hoping that we get a Sandman 2 announcement, season 2 announcement coming out that time. Kevin Williams is back with a new movie called Sick. First trailer for it came out this week. It is basically a human invasion movie during COVID. So basically, you take the whole home invasion storyline with people who invade a house with only like 2 people in it, terrorize them, the 2 people fight back. In this case, it's 2 women who are scared that COVID, this is the early days of COVID, so COVID is still dangerous. I mean, it's still dangerous now, but it was really, really dangerous before the vaccine and before people knew what was going on, and millions were dying at a time. So that's coming out soon. I think they had some. I think it was shown at Toronto International Film Festival, and that's where the review came from. Amazon has also got a new show from Ridley Scott. He's going to be producing Blade Runner 2099. He's returning to Blade Runner not as a director, but as a producer, and he'll be getting Blade Runner be getting a TV show on Amazon. Airless tires have been created by NASA. They're going to be working on it, but that could be soon the wave of the future. So you don't have to worry about filling up your air, and it's going to be a stronger tire, so it will take a lot more to burst it than what we are dealing with now. Tennis player Roger Federer is set to retire this year, along with Serena Williams. Serena Williams did it first, though, so I'm not trying to steal her thunder, I guess. Oh, well. But Roger Federer will be retiring this year. Betty Crocker S'mores Brownies is out in stores now, so if you like s'mores and you like brownies, that is the opportune thing to do. For Stan Lee's 100th birthday, DC will be returning to the Just Imagine universe, which was a universe that Stan Lee did. God, it's been 20, 30 years ago, where he reimagined, what was it, like 5 or 6 of the main DC characters out how he would do them if he was creating them. So he did a Batman, a Superman, a Wonder Woman, I think a Green Lantern, and I think they had a Justice League also, sort of thing. So they're returning to that for his 100th birthday. Build-A-Bear is getting into the Mogwai business. Mogwai, of course, is the cute, adorable, fuzzy character from Gremlins. So now you can get your own Build-A-Bear Mogwai at your local Build-A-Bear. Alaska Daily is Hilary Swank's new show on ABC that actually looks pretty interesting. It's a drama thriller set in Alaska and looks like it's filmed in Alaska. It hasn't had a good Alaskan TV show since Northern Exposure, which wasn't filmed in Alaska, but filmed in Washington State. But this show looks like it is filmed in Alaska, and so that's kind of cool. But it is sort of a newspaper journalist action thriller sort of TV show. Something happened that scientists did not believe would ever be able to happen, but it did, and they have proof of it. Mars, there was a sun halo seen from Mars. It was thought to be impossible, but it showed up on pictures from the rovers on Mars. So a sun halo appeared on Mars. They never thought it could happen. Local news, the local Baltimore Zoo, it's called the Maryland Zoo in Baltimore. 2 Sitatunga calves were born, which are these cute little deer-like sort of creatures. They're really adorable. We have 2 new ones now, so that's outstanding. The story of the week, though, goes to a 19-year-old chess player who is been accused of using anal beads and AI to beat the top chess player in the world. Basically, he stuck the anal beads up his ass, and if you don't know how anal beads work, they're supposed to vibrate and bring you to orgasm, but he was able to somehow, I guess, program it with an AI that knew what was going on with the chess game, I guess, and would signal to him what would be the best move or something like that. I don't know the full story of it, but there you are. So that's an interesting story as well. All right, 2 more full pages to go. We'll be out of here. So let's move on. Even though they're in a lot of trouble with HBO Max right now, they're still in business, and they have just bought the rights to air the January 6th Capitol riot a documentary that was filmed. They'll be releasing that on their show. GoldenEye 007, which is considered one of the greatest video games of all time, is returning to Nintendo Switch and Xbox this upcoming year. So good on that, I guess. Talked about how Gisele Bündchen and Tom Brady are having some marital difficulties, more along due to the fact that Tom Brady decided that he didn't want to stay retired and go back and play one more year. Gisele was upset about that. So she says, you know what, if you can do it, I can do it also. So Gisele is unretiring from modeling and will be soon be modeling very soon. And she's still hot and she's still a name. So they will definitely throw all the money at the world at her. Timmy Oliphant, who made an appearance in some of the final episodes of The Good Place, joins Claire Danes and Zazie Beetz in Steve Soderbergh and Ed Solomon's Full Circle show on HBO Max. Lindsay Lohan's kind of return is continuing. She's got a Christmas movie coming out on Netflix this Christmas. Her next one could very well be a St. Patrick's Day style type of movie. She's currently filming Irish Wish, and she'll be starring in it, but the rest of the cast right now includes John Sinor, Elizabeth Tan, Aisha Curry, Alexander Vlahos, and Ed Spadero. Gotta get these names right eventually. I talked about Maya Hawke's her new show, No Revenge. During the interview for the press for this, she mentioned that she would be fine. Actually, that she wanted her character of Robin to die in Stranger Things so she could have that sort of heroic death sort of thing. But she also prefaced it by saying, but I also wouldn't mind doing maybe a spinoff where Steve and I would do stuff, like as the rumored thing about them getting a job at every season and then getting, kicked out and having to get a new job. So we'll see if that comes up. Amish pizza delivery guys apparently is a new thing now. I have never seen that before, but it's apparently a thing now. So I guess good. The live action version of One Piece has finished filming and Netflix has released a poster of it. Looks pretty good. That's due out probably sometime next year. It's going to take a while, obviously, for the special effects and stuff like that to get done. But okay. In good news, the Patagonia founder, billionaire, has sold his company to a nonprofit organization, and they can use the profits that they can get from owning Patagonia to combat climate change. So that's a really good deal. A billionaire putting the money where his mouth is. So good on that for him and Patagonia. A new Patagonia store is opening in Maryland. I've heard nothing but good things from Patagonia from my friend Gary. So I wouldn't mind going down there and checking that out and buying some of the stuff down there too. There is first look at Violent Night. First look at Netflix's Violent Night movie with David Harbour as a evil Santa Claus popped up. I talked about that earlier. Sarah Michelle Gellar appears again. Rodrigo Santoro has been cast opposite Sarah Michelle Gellar in the Teen Wolf spinoff Wolfpack. So that's going to be on Paramount Plus, I believe. So I won't be able to watch that, but she is back in business. The 13th, the people wondering when the 13th Doctor Who is going to have her final episode. Well, the first trailer for it came out this week. It is due out in October. So we will at the end of the 13th Doctor, the beginning of the 14th Doctor in October. Brownie the Elf is going to make his debut later today at the Cleveland Browns home opener. Cleveland Browns have a new mascot, and it is Brownie the Elf. He now in the center of the stadium is no longer a painted Browns helmet. It is now the elf on the center of it, and they have an elf mascot now, so he'll be running around like that. Halo Season 2 has started filming. I guess that's Paramount Plus also, so it did well enough that Paramount is willing to give it a second season, so good on that as well. George Clooney says that his Batman is better than Ben Affleck's, and honestly, I can't disagree with him really because I did not enjoy Ben Affleck's Batman. I did not enjoy George Clooney's that much either. If George Clooney was playing it more seriously and sort of changed up his voice a little bit, he could have been a really good Batman. He had the jawline for it, but and he had sort of that sort of Bruce Wayne sort of aspect to him. But I couldn't buy Ben Affleck as Batman. I honestly couldn't buy George Clooney either, but I do kind of have to side on George Clooney on this also because of my extreme hatred of Zack Snyder, but that's besides the point. DDoS attack hits Action Blizzard Gaming and takes many of their hugely popular games offline, like Call of Duty. So there was a computer attack on Blizzard, Action Blizzard, who does like Call of Duty and this stuff like that shut down these popular games for hours after this attack hit. Skyglass has canceled the movie Dallas Sting that was going to star Matthew McConaughey just before it started filming. So Matthew McConaughey now finds himself without a job. Steven Spielberg's most personal movie in a long time, The Fabelmans, gets his first trailer. Did not know this was coming out this year, but the first trailer came out this week, and it will be due out Thanksgiving, and stars Michelle Williams, Paul Dano, and Seth Rogen, and looks really, really good from what I've seen of it, and it looks like it's going to be Steven Spielberg's life, because the main character is a kid who likes filmmaking. His parents are, having marital difficulties, which his did, so it's kind of nice to see that. So I might look forward to that, and it's already getting some buzz. I think they showed it at Toronto International Film Festival. They said it was really, really good. So we'll see about that. So looking forward to that. So I might have to check that out around Thanksgiving. Scented glue sticks. Tis the season for school supplies. And everybody you know what glue smells like, but they now have glue sticks that smell like blueberry and strawberry and apple and stuff like that. So, okay, that's a thing. There's a Chinese film will be out soon, called Mutant Tigers. The first trailer for that came out. So America's not the only ones who can make B movies. Rare black rattlesnake was found in Alabama that can kill you instead of just hurt you badly. So that's wonderful. Last week's college game, Kentucky played Florida, and they beat Florida, the Florida Gators. So to celebrate, Kentucky players ate an alligator after the game. You can eat alligator, absolutely, but they had a full-size alligator, and they were eating it, and it was delicious for them. Speaking of alligators, a monster 13-foot alligator was caught in a South Carolina lake. So those suckers aren't just growing big in Florida, they're growing big in South Carolina as well. Tamagotchi, remember those things from the 90s. There's someone who's been playing it forever and is a Tamagotchi breeder, is on her 65th generation of the digital pet. So she's kept her digital pet alive for 65 generations, which is outstanding considering most people got bored with Tamagotchis really early on. But here we are. So pretty cool about that. Float-a-Poo is a new dog waste disposal solution, which is you put the poo in a bag and it has helium in it, so the poo just floats away. I don't think it was a fake commercial. I think it's a real one. So you don't have to worry about it. You put the poop in the bag and then you throw it in the air and the helium takes it away and you don't have to look at it ever again. And I think about it, it's probably fake, but that's still kind of funny though. But maybe not. Finally, for this page is the second weird headline we have. Remember the first one I read about a half hour ago. This one is woman who is dating invisible alien who abducted her from her London flat says he's better lover, better in bed than any Earthman, and all women should get themselves some intergalactic lovers. I wonder if this is the same woman who married a ghost pirate and had great sex as well. But yes, great sex with an invisible alien who abducted her. Better than any Earthman. I'm sure it's not just masturbation in your vibrator. Two episodes of She-Hulk and Lord of the Rings rolled through this week. Last week's episodes seemed a little slow for me, and they were just okay. This week's were a little bit better, but still, it just I still like the shows, but they're just not. I don't know. I mean, She-Hulk still makes me laugh a lot, and Lord of the Rings sometimes is a chore to get through, but I still enjoyed it a lot. And there's action is starting to move along, things are starting to move along a little bit, but just sometimes they just keep beating a dead horse and keep staying in one location, and you just get moving and doing other stuff. So still worth it, still like them, and that's what I'm going to say about that. School for Good and Evil trailer, new one came out this week as well. Still looks good, so hopefully it'll continue to be good. The Chinese scientists have discovered a new lunar mineral that's in the form of a crystal from the lunar samples that they received back from their Dark Side of the Moon rover over there. So they discovered a brand new crystalline mineral that's only available on the moon. So it's kind of interesting as well. Brie Larson doesn't know what else is in store for her Captain Marvel. She also went after the toxic males who attacked her online and still continue to attack her, and I still don't understand what that's all about. I mean, I understand some aspects of it, but I still it's kind of stupid. And one of the reasons why I think is this next guy, Don Cheadle, claims he is no longer under contract with Marvel. So what does that mean for his Armor Wars saga? I don't know. Are they going to have to give him a new contract? Or was Armor Wars going to be the last thing he does and they've already started filming it? I don't know. After that, he doesn't have a contract. So we'll see. Some Marvel stuff is coming up there, but the whole Brie Larson stuff, I still don't quite grasp. I understand some of the reasoning for it, but I also don't understand why everybody hates her so much. What the hell is that? Oh, Le'Veon Bell knocks out Adrian Peterson in one of those stupid boxing matches that they've been showing recently about having former athletes or stupid YouTube stars fighting each other. But yeah, so there's that. The Strangers reboot from Renny Harlin, whose name I haven't heard for a long time, is set with a brand new cast. Strangers is the home invasion movie that starred Liv Tyler. They're now making a new movie about it from Renny Harlin, which is kind of amazing. I haven't heard from him in a long time. And the cast is a bunch of people I've never heard of before, so I didn't write them down. So there you go. A Broadway theater has been renamed in the honor of James Earl Jones. That's a good deal. Good thing for that. James Earl Jones is a national treasure. Jared Leto has joined the cast of The Haunted Mansion. So, okay. Say what you will. Will he say it's Morbin time? I doubt it. A new horror movie is going to take a look at the history of the Jersey Devil. That could be kind of interesting if done in the right hands. The Babylon trailer featuring Margot Robbie, Brad Pitt, about the golden age of cinema made its appearance this week. It actually looks pretty good, interesting, kind of interesting take on early days of cinema, which could be fun to watch. Jacob LaFleur has joined the cast of Joker 2 as a member of Arkham Asylum. We don't know which one, but there it is right there. September 27th is now the new date for the Artemis launch. They keep pushing that back because of rocket issues, but if it doesn't launch then, who knows when the next date would be. It might not be till November now and just keeps getting pushed back and back. Glitch trailer from Netflix movie coming out October 7th about an alien abduction, but not a invisible alien lover, unfortunately, is coming out. So we'll see about that. Sofia Coppola is going to be making a Priscilla Presley biopic and has cast Carrie Basie, I guess, and Jacob Elron. It looks like I can't remember. I gotta really write down people's names, the actors' names better. Again, people I don't really know that much about. And the final story this week, right? Yep. The final story this week is Anna Kendrick had to be rescued after an elevator malfunction at the Toronto International Film Festival. So I love me some Anna Kendrick, and it's crazy that happened to her, but it is what it is. That, ladies and gentlemen, is the end of that. Later today, we will be doing episode 465, Spider-Man 60th anniversary show, and my 9th anniversary show. So I'm going to stop here. I'm going to chill out for a little while. Going to go to bed. Going to get up, check out Fortnite. Maybe talk a little bit about Fortnite, maybe. To extend a little bit. Fortnite new season. Maybe. Do my Spider-Man show again. It's just going to be reminiscence about Spider-Man for me, why I like Spider-Man. A lot of top 10, top 5, top 8 lists of favorite writers, artists, characters, villains, stories about Peter's love life, amazing stories that not a lot of people know about, and just fun stuff like that. The movies, stuff like that. We'll do that, and then we'll see what happens. So then after that should be Pokemon Go, Ravens football, and stuff like that. So sometime in there, I guess early in the morning, I'm going to try to aim for an 11 to 1 sort of, because I want to watch football from 1 to 4, and then I might end up doing it after football. We'll see how the day goes. So it's either going to be like at 11 a.m., which is 10 hours from now, or it'll be later in the day, like after football, like around 4:30-ish. So got some time to play with. I got to write up the stuff anyway. I have it all written down. Just need to transfer it to this side. So yeah, come back for my 9th anniversary episode here in the next 10 to 20 hours. Okay. Until then, until I see you then, enjoy the rest of your evening. It is currently 1:11 a.m. And enjoy football. Get out for Pokemon Go things. Enjoy your community day, and come back here 10 to 15 hours to hear about Spider-Man.